Have you ever heard that saying, the best laid plans? I think it continues of mice and men. And then I think it goes on to say something else about usually aren't as effective as we think they might be. And I think that's something I want to just spend a couple of minutes talking about today on this new version of today's Antidote. For those of you who maybe have been following along, Bob has decided to exit the show, which was great. We talked about it. We had a conversation that was fine. And I think one of the challenges was, for me at least, was I wasn't sure what to do next. We sort of had some plans, and we were always talking a little bit about where might this go and what might we be doing in the future. And I guess one of the things, even though I tell my clients this all the time, I hadn't considered what the obstacles might be along that plan. One of those obstacles being that one of us decides that we've had enough and we need to do something else. And so I think that's a thing that I'd like you to consider, because whether it's your plan for today, your plan for this week, your plan until the end of the year, or maybe the plan you're starting to put together for next year, is have you stopped to consider what are the obstacles that could stand in your way? I think so often we only consider the plan. And the plan usually is based on everything going the way we thought it was going to go. That's what we put together because that's what we know. That's the perspective that we have. We're trying to ensure that we do what we want to do. And so that's the whole reason for putting a plan together. And yet so often there are so many things out of our control that we don't stop to think about. What might happen in this case if something happens that's completely out of our control? I had no control over whether Bob decided to stay or not. That was his decision to make. It was then up to me to figure out what to do next. And at the moment, I haven't figured out what that new plan might be. And so I did what I have been doing for almost every day for the last almost 3 years, is I got on here and started to talk about it in the hopes that I will start to figure out what to do next. And I think as I consider that and try to put together what a plan looks like, I guess my thought for the day, my antidote for today is, as you put your plans together, be sure to consider the opportunities. There are always opportunities there, and yet every opportunity also creates an obstacle. And so what obstacles are you not considering that may have an impact on your plan? Now, you can never consider them all, and yet there are some that you can clearly consider. If you're planning to do something that regards being outside, you might want to consider, what does the weather look like? And what happens if the weather isn't optimal for doing what I wanted to do outside? How does that change your plan? And so as you're going around putting plans together, and if you're struggling to put plans together, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. I'm actually going to offer a workshop for nonprofit organizations around building a plan, specifically around fundraising for next year. And it sort of goes the same in building plans if you're a small business or if you're an entrepreneur or whatever your case might be, or a large business. Plans are all about, where are we today? What has happened and what have we learned from what's happened? And where do we want to be tomorrow? And what will it take for us to get from where we are to where we want to be? And then we just prioritize those actions in the plan that we put together. The critical piece that I think most people don't think about in a plan is what could get in our way, what might stop us. And so as you're thinking about your plan, today's antidote is be sure to consider, what are the obstacles that could stand in your way? Because one of the things I think they will do is, if you've at least considered them, you likely won't be as stuck as you could be if you hadn't considered them at all. And I think that's the point I'm at a little bit right now, is I'm a little stuck. I'm uncertain what to do with this show, with my time first thing in the morning, because I find there is value in getting up and sharing some thoughts. And so I'm a little stuck in what to do next. Happy to hear any thoughts or ideas others have, because I know that your perspective is unique and you have some value that you would share that might be helpful as I try to figure out my next step along today's antidote. So with that, I hope that you go out and enjoy your day. Make sure that you embrace the renegade in you and consider those obstacles that might stand in your way, because it will help you move closer and closer to what your intended goal is. All right, everyone, go out and enjoy your day. I will see you soon.